Okay, so we have here a TOSHIBA laptop, which is a Satellite Pro R50-B, and this is what's happening. Basically, it's attempting to turn on, but it is turning off non-stop. So I'll plug it into the power. It is the original charger. Power light, the charging light is on, and you can see power light coming on, going off. You can actually hear the hard drive turning off, turning back on. You can see the numlock key coming on, going off. Let's see if we can fix this problem. Let's first remove the battery. And do a power cycle first. Pressing the power button for a few seconds. Okay, let's attempt to turn it on with just the power cable plugged in and see what it does. And there is no power light yet. Let's attempt to turn it on. Power light is on, it's off. On, off. Okay. So there is something serious here. Let's have a look what it could be. This one requires a removal of the base. Alright, so we've got it fully opened, and let's see if we can see anything obvious. It's using a DDR3 low voltage RAM. Okay, so trackpad is coming through this controller here. Headphone and another USB port. Hard drive. LCD connector. DC jack running into here. So this has a proper BIOS inside, and this is the battery for it. And let's isolate some of the components and attempt to turn it back on again just to see what happens. So we've isolated two components, the card reader, trackpad, and the sound audio connection board and a USB. Maybe there's a short somewhere around there, we're not sure. Let's see what happens when we attempt to power it on in this mode. We won't see LED lights as the cable is disconnected, but we can see the fan. Pressing the power button now. Fan is attempting to spin, but it's failing. It's failing. Alright, so this indicates something else, something more serious. Now there is a network card controller here, which is connected to this cable here. I'm going to isolate that as well and attempt to boot up again. Pressing the power button and nothing on the screen, and same spinning fan scenario. I'm going to remove the BIOS battery and press the power button without the power cable plugged in. Hold it for a few seconds. Okay, let's attempt powering it on again. Look at that, it is spinning. And I'm waiting for the screen to flash up. And I don't see anything on the screen yet. But that is a good sign. No flashing lights. Fan stopped. Gonna attempt to power it on one more time. Okay. And this time still nothing. The fan is spinning. I've got the RAM in there. Just the BIOS battery reset. The LCD cable still connected. Okay, let's pull the power cable out. Let's connect some of the essential ribbons. Okay. Let's power it so we can see the power light now. It's flashing. It's a charging indicator. There is no battery, but that is something different than before. It's blue, it's orange blinking light. This was my fear. Okay, let's safely unplug this just to be safe. Okay, no rips or damages to the ribbon cable. That's important. Okay, let's attempt that again. The fan is spinning now. And still nothing on the screen. Let's plug in the battery, see if there is any difference. It is charging the battery, but it's still not booting up. Pressing the power button again, we're getting a flashing orange light. Let's power it off. Power it off, and it stays off. Our client said that there was a Windows update of some sort, and I wonder if there was a BIOS update. It may have been, we don't know. Now we got a blinking white light. Alright, so it has been running in this mode for a little while. As you can see, the fan is spinning really loud. It's getting hot a little bit here. It is currently on, but nothing on the screen. I've connected external monitor just to see if anything comes up. And looking at the source as a VGA on the screen, no signal coming in. Power it off, running off the battery at the moment. Power off. Okay, it's turned off. Let's attempt that again. Plugged in, charging, power button. It's flashing orange. To me, this could be maybe the RAM. I doubt. Maybe maybe well, it could be the RAM. We don't know. Let's power it on one more time. Let's see the reaction. Same orange light. It's gone to white light, orange light. Okay, let's put a new RAM in. That's a DDR3 low voltage. We've got some here. We need a low voltage one. These are DDR2. Here we go. DDR3, PC3L. This is a 4 gigabyte. Previous one was also 4 gigabyte. And let's see what happens. Fan is not spinning yet. It is spinning now. And what do we see on the screen? Nothing yet. Nothing on the external monitor. just flashing lights. This is not a good sign. It turned off. Turn it back on again. Right, so it's got nothing to do with the internal screen. Let's try the RAM on the other side slot. Slot B. Power. Turn on. Fan spinning. Nothing. How can the laptop fail just like this? No physical damage of any obvious signs of damage. Let's have a look at the motherboard on the other side. Can't see anything quite obvious from here. That could be the power switch. Nothing obvious on this side. So that's the Realtek sound chip. Alright, so I suspect this is a failed BIOS update, most likely, and it's failing to pass the post. I'm going to attempt to use Raspberry Pi to reprogram the BIOS chip, which is over here. It's a WinBond chip, and that's subject to client's approvals for attempt to repair, and I'll update this video later on. Having just spoken to the client, they said they've paid $2,500 for this laptop, which I cannot believe. It is a satellite model, and I don't think it's a business model designed for the home. This is a design for the home consumer end market, and paying $2,500 for this is a little bit outrageous, but some people do get away with charging outrageous amounts for a computer like this. So they want to go ahead and see if it can be repaired. And I'm going to attempt to go in diode mode. See if I can pick up anything obvious before attempting to reflash the BIOS chip. Alright, so I'm lucky enough to actually have a same model laptop lying around. Very lucky indeed. So I don't really need schematics to work with this model. As you can see, it's the same layout, completely same layout, same family, even the same brand RAM, same factory. Okay, so importantly, remove any battery, remove any power from the motherboard. This is a working model. Okay, let's have a look at a few things. The multimeter is in continuity mode. Okay, so I'm going to go into diode mode, and I'm going to test some of the components just to see if there are any differences. Okay, so just confirm we are on the ground, continuity mode, yep, okay, and go into diode mode. We're in diode mode. Let's see what we get around here. So this end is all ground. No short anywhere here. Let's confirm it on the other side. All good. Okay. Let's check other components like these. 2.3, 2.4. 553. Same. So I'm not having much luck so far. It is not taking any amp in while the power adapter is being plugged in. So that indicates there is most likely no short. I reckon there is nothing wrong here. Failing to pass post. Alright, I'm going to attempt to set up Raspberry Pi. See if I can get it to read the BIOS chip from the old one. From one of my last projects, I damaged the old the old one, all these areas. I had to cut it to suit another chip. So unfortunately, I need to transfer it all into a new one now. Yes, you can see the difference. The black is the ground. Okay. Just need this to stay stable here. Okay. Let's go back to Raspberry Pi. If I can read the chip, I'm going to go and get the BIOS file from TOSHIBA website and extract it to the USB. and attempt to flash, and then see if you can get the computer up and running. Alright, we're nearly there. Open up terminal. Alright, the command we need to run. See if you can read the chip. Fantastic. Found Winbond flash chip W25Q64.V for Victor. It's an 8 megabyte chip. This is fantastic. I'm going to read the contents first onto the hard drive, and we don't need to provide the chip type, and we're gonna do -R read, and we'll call this R50.bin. We are now reading the contents of the chip. While that's reading, I'll go and find the BIOS chip for this model. Okay, I've managed to get a BIOS thanks to a nice community who shares BIOS files. And I'm not sure if it is compatible, but it is a similar model. Okay, I'll put it on desktop. Let's have a look at the size of the BIOS that we copied across. And we can see that it is a 8 megabyte BIOS file read from the chip. And now we're going to write the one on our desktop. W desktop TOSHIBA. Now we're going to write this BIOS flash file, and it is now writing. Okay, reading all flash chip contents. Okay, now it is erasing and writing. This can take a longer time. For some reason I've got a Spanish keyboard set up, so I can't use the command shortcuts. Let's see how this goes. Alright, job is complete. Let's confirm. Now we're going to attempt to start up the computer and see what's happening. The flashing went smoothly. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. Hi. I guess for good reason, to build up suspense for this moment. Um, Connected the hard drive, and we've got power in the moment of truth. Okay, disconnect that. Okay, just make sure no damage to the ribbon cable. Fuck. Okay, here we go. Let's power up the unit. Make sure hard drive does not fall. Okay. Power. Light. Light. Come on, come on, come on. Bring me TOSHIBA logo. Cross fingers. Come on. You can do it. Doesn't look good. We'll give it some time to process. You can see the reaction is different. Most likely, if this doesn't work, that was the incorrect flashed BIOS file. We may have to get an alternative one. While that's running, I'll attempt to see if there is another one available. Okay, this has actually failed. So I've got another BIOS file, slightly different version, and we're going to flash the BIOS again. Okay. Make sure no power is anywhere near the motherboard. Okay, USB is plugged in. Alright, now let's attempt to write another BIOS file. It detected the chip again. Beautiful. Okay, let's try again. Let's try again. This is a slightly similar model, and let's see what happened now. Alright, I've disconnected the Raspberry Pi, switch camera inputs. Okay, now power in. I'm just gonna remove the hard drive, avoid it from falling over. Alright, let's press the power button and see the magic happen. On, then it turned off, and we are back. Look at that. Oh my god, this is all in date et hure. Reinitialize a default. F2. Oh my god, it's a different language. French. Oh mate, I am extremely happy. I managed to fix it up. This is fantastic. So what I learned from this is the is the donor motherboard, the other laptop, helped me confirm there were no physical issues with this laptop, and my initial assumptions that the BIOS may have been corrupted due to maybe an update or failed update, which I'm not surprised. And flashing with the correct or different BIOS file resulted in a different behavior. That was also a confirmation that we are on the right track, that the BIOS is where the problem is at, and we need to focus on that more. Okay, so let's just make sure this is all, um, everything's wired up correctly. We haven't missed anything. And that's the DVD drive and the battery. And the cover. So in my opinion, what the customer said was actually accurate, that they just saw an update pop up and it needed completing, and not really clear whether it was a Microsoft update or a Toshiba update. I am not sure either, but one of those has caused this problem. Before putting every single screw in, I'd like to do another test. Make sure it boots fine. One thing we may have a problem of is the Windows activation, because it pulls the serial number of the motherboard, and with this kind of BIOS update we may have overwritten that information. I am not sure. Look at that, we're booting in, life is looking good. They have Windows 7. It's time for an upgrade really, to Windows 10. So this is a nice array, and the other computer I've got is also a nice array. It's actually an exact same model. Very convenient. This is looking good. Alright, this is a success in my opinion. Look, thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something. And if you have a similar problem, hopefully you can fix it. If you don't have access to a Raspberry Pi,